Hi, I'm Vic Bearcroft, and the other day I was lucky enough to pay a visit to the Wildlife Heritage Foundation, which is a big cat sanctuary near Ashford in Kent. Amongst all the stunning cats that were there was this one solitary cheetah, and when his keeper called him, came walking over to us in a typical stalking cheetah pose, allowing me to get the photograph for today's subject. I'm going to demonstrate to you the techniques that you need to produce your own wildlife paintings in pastel, and also to demonstrate that you needn't be daunted at the thought of painting all those spots. Now what I've done is initially sketched out in soft pencil a rough outline before we start painting with the pastels. The first thing we need to do after getting our initial pencil sketch down is to use a hard black pastel, and the pastels I'm using, the hard ones, are Contes, which are very good on this surface, which is velour paper, and velour paper is an excellent soft suede surface for painting animal pictures. This is probably one of the most important parts of the painting, is getting the outline established in black pastel, as this will show through the subsequent layers of colour that we apply and give a lot of depth and strength to your painting. So let's begin with the important features, the face, the eyes, the nose, the ears, etc. And then a not too difficult task of putting all those spots in. So we'll start with the eyes, using the corners of the pastel, which is the sharp bits. So keep your lines reasonably sketchy. We don't want anything too hard and strong at this stage. Remember that we are dealing with fur, and there's no hard straight lines in nature anyway. What you must do, of course, even though you've sketched this out, is to keep constantly referring back to your reference photo, so you don't get misled by any mistakes that you might have made in your initial drawing. So we can fatten up maybe the little tiered up stripes that run down the side of the face. These are very distinctive cheetah markings, of course. And we'll establish the position of the pupils at this stage, important for that stalking cheetah look. We won't, this far, paint in the nose all in black, because although cheetahs are fairly unique in the big cat family, whereas they're the only ones that have black noses, like dogs, the nose itself will give off a slightly blue tint with the shine, so we'll deal with that a little bit later on. Now we'll do the ears, and then, as I say, go on to do all those little spots. So the outline of the ears, nice little rounded ears that they have, and also just suggest some shadows of the hair inside the ears at this stage. Try as much as you can to follow the direction of the growth of fur, because if you try to paint diagonal fur upwards or horizontally, it's going to show through at the end and it will look a little bit awkward. So there we have the ears. We'll do the centre parting, if you like, down the middle of the forehead there. What we need to do, as I said before, is now to reasonably carefully, but don't worry about it too much, get all these spots in. Remember that every cheetah is different, all the spots will be different. The key thing is, as well as trying to stroke these in the direction of the growth of the fur, is not to make them uniform. So don't be tempted to do lots of little uniform round spots, because that won't work. Spots on a cheetah help to define the shape. So you have big spots, small spots, oval spots, round spots, all different shapes and sizes, and these will help to determine the body shapes. Right, that will start on the crest at the back of the neck, and notice that this crest is a large plume of fur, so the spots in effect are just lumps of black fur that are quite long. It's no different fur from the lighter fur that's around it, so we just need to treat it as such. So don't be tempted just to paint big black blobs all over, because then you'll lose the important thing, which is the shape of the cat. Now, when you're painting an animal with spots, like the cheetah, it does require a little bit of patience at this stage, but it'll be worth it in the end, because then all you need to do is emphasize the colours and the shapes with rather flatter tones on the top. It's worth the effort just to get these little spots all in the right place now. keep flicking back to your photo as well, just to make sure that not so much the numbers of spots are there, but the shapes and sizes are about right. Nobody's counting after all. Notice as well that I'm stroking these as though they are little lumps of fur. We don't want any big blobs of black spot. So working our way down the leg, you'll notice here that the spots get a little bit larger, and the direction of the fur changes, of course. It starts going down the leg rather than up. So I'm not attempting by any means just to completely replicate every single spot in its place, just to get an idea for the shape of the leg. And on the back leg, which you can hardly see, you can give a faint outline and maybe just a couple of suggestions of soft spots. Of course, that leg obviously is further back. And then just outline the front leg a little bit. Then we have another back leg which is sitting in the middle. Again, all you need to do is suggest a few softer spots. Of course, we want this back leg to recede. Again, a little soft outline, and then we can work down the front shoulder and the front leg on this side. So notice the direction that I'm putting these strokes in. They follow the form of the animal. So as I said, if you get this pretty much right, spend a little bit of time on it at this stage, then everything else will be so much easier later on. Look for the big spots. The big spots are the key. The small spots, not so important. And remember to clump one or two together, so don't have uniform spaces between them either. And then finally, one or two tiny little spots dotted around the forehead and side of the head. And already you can see, just by drawing the spots in with this hard black pastel, you've got the form of the cheetah already. The movement, the shapes, the direction of the fur and everything else.